And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com. Hail Mary's has, let's try again. Hail Mary's has only been open a little over 10 months. They've got 27 TVs, a 9-screen video wall. There's not a bad seat in the house. They have every sports package that DirecTV offers. They stream all the games, and the Cincinnati sports will always be on the video wall. They're on the main Dragon Cheviot right on Harrison Avenue. So you can walk from bar to bar with your drinks. But why would you do that when you can go to Hail Mary's, brand new cooler, brand new draft lines, and not only do they pour the coldest beer around, but they do so in 32.8 degree frosted glasses. I was going to try like a different order of that read, Aaron, and just completely.
Yeah, did you glitch? What happened?
So I read it out of the order that they sent it to me in. So I know exactly where my eyes are going to get from line to line, and I tried to mix it up, and my eyes went to where they wanted to go, and it was not the right spot.
Sometimes you don't have to mess with a good thing. You don't have to mess with a good thing.
Aaron. I know. I should have just kept the read as I had designed it in my head. This job's hard. It's hard.
Let's go to Lubbock.
You ever been to Lubbock? I'm sending Keegan to Lubbock.
It's hard.
Oh, it is Wednesday. No weekday games this week. So
good.
This will give you a little primer for Saturday, but a loaded slate of Big 12 games. So let's get right to it. Noon, ESPN. Boy, this one's going to be interesting. Oklahoma State, Kansas State. Both are 3-1. Both started out with losses in the Big 12. Oklahoma State lost at home to Utah. Kansas State got smacked at BYU. Kansas State is a 5-point favorite at home. The total is 54.5. I don't know what to think here. I'm on Kansas State, but I'm just so afraid of them getting behind because I just don't know that they can claw their way out of it when they do. But there's a piece of me, Aaron, that tells me in that BYU game, in 6.5 minutes of clock, they scored 31 points. That is fluky. That's not repeatable. I think I'm gonna stay on the Kansas State bandwagon one more week, I think, and see where this goes with Avery Johnson.
I am all the way out on Oklahoma State. I don't think that if Ollie Gordon is not who he was,
superhuman, yeah, he was the best running back in college football last year.
I still
he
can't
is invisible.
I don't know if they have swapped out Ollie Gordon's body with whoever was driving and got that DUI. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to Ollie Gordon. He is not the same person. That said, give me Kansas State at home. I don't
laying the points.
I still don't know who Avery Johnson. Yeah, I'm taking the points. I just don't know that
Oklahoma. No, laying the points. You're giving Oklahoma State 5?
No, I think Kansas State wins this by like 10.
So you're laying the points. You're giving the points. Yeah.
I don't. Why do we have to complicate this with all these weird phrasings?
If we're talking about gambling, that's how gamblers talk, Aaron.
Yeah, so soccer players have fancy words too. It's stupid. Anyway.
I like tonight, a little.
My daughter's been she's got 2-year-old molars coming in, and she's been a nightmare.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's understandable then. I get it. Go ahead.
What's next?
Also at noon on FS1, the Big 12 dominating the two big cable networks for noon kickoffs. BYU at Baylor in Waco. BYU is ranked. Baylor is a 3.5-point favorite. The total is 45.5. I am sprinting to BYU here.
I am all the way on board with hashtag BYJew, and I think that this BYU team is for real. I've not seen anything in the last season and a half out of Dave Aranda and the Baylor Bears that tell me that they are anybody who they were before we got into this conference. And I'm I don't know how this game is favoring Baylor. I don't know how
Right.
they're
I'm
two and
going
a half.
BYU outright.
It
Like,
opened it.
please give me the points.
It opened at 2.5, and it's moved to 3.5. What are we doing?
Total 45.5. They think this is going to be low, like 24, 21 range, given the line and the spread, like
Yeah,
24, 21. I think it comfortably over. Am I crazy on that?
maybe it's because it's not being played at BYU at elevation, and maybe that's what has been working in BYU's favor. As I think that's where they've won. That's where they beat Kansas State,
Yeah,
and
it's where they've won most of their games.
well, no, that's only where they've won 2 of their 4. They also beat Southern Illinois, but they won at SMU and they won at Wyoming. I guess you just haven't really seen enough out of BYU, but they beat Kansas State handily, 38-9.
Again,
Baylor,
31
Baylor
points
ain't,
in 6.5 minutes.
but Baylor ain't got it like that.
I don't think so. I'm rolling with BYU. I'm taking the points. I think I'm going the over too. I do.
Probably.
More fascinating. This one was not like it got banished from TV, Aaron. ESPN Plus.
Yeah, because
TCU
they're fighting for
at
their
Kansas.
lives.
Yeah. TCU is 2-2, 0-1 in the Big 12. Kansas 1-3, 0-1 in the Big 12. Potentially, Kansas could start this thing out 1-4. Important to note here, we talked about this last week, and I got corrected corrected a couple times. We asked a
Yes,
question.
we did.
These games their Big 12 games are being played in Arrowhead. So there is not going, and especially for a 1-3 Kansas team, let's be honest, Kansas football does not exactly have,
Don't travel.
because they've been awful for the eternity of time. So they're not going to fill Arrowhead.
Except under Jason Bean.
Yeah. Long live Jason Bean, the Beaner. His last name.
I didn't say a word. I didn't say
Your
a word.
eyes said
No.
yeah. I'm tempted to pick again. They look like a mess. Like Jalen Daniels looks awful. He doesn't look anything like himself. But I hate TCU. So I don't know what to do. Kansas is a 1.5 point favorite. I don't know. I guess I'm going to take Kansas, but I think TCU is going to win. I just don't like them, so I don't want to pick them.
58.5 on this one. Give me the under all day.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think either team is capable of scoring 30 against the other. That said, I almost just want to pretend this game isn't happening because
I don't want to.
I don't know how ESPN is giving Kansas 60.9
Percent chance to win.
When Daniels has 4 touchdowns and 7 picks in 4 games. That's crazy.
The Hoover kid for TCU has been really good. Like 11 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
He has 800 more yards than Daniels.
Yeah.
Give me TCU.
I guess my brain says TCU. My heart says I never want to pick Sonny Dykes to win a game.
I know.
I just don't trust he can do it.
I want to pretend this game isn't happening.
All right. We both decline Kansas and TCU. Colorado at UCF, 3:30 on Fox. UCF favored by 14.5, total 64.5. RJ Harvey is going to get his groove on.
Easy spread. That is a crazy spread.
I know.
I think I'm taking Colorado.
I'm gonna stick with my little. I've got a little bit of a UCF crush this year, although.
If it was 13.5, I think I take UCF. I don't know
So
that.
you think UCF wins comfortably? They just don't
Yes,
cover.
yes. 14.5 is 3 scores.
Yeah, it's a lot. And Shadur will go get his if they're up 21. He
I think
will go
UCF.
get a touchdown to to
Yeah,
backdoor put you
yeah.
on bad beats. He
I
will
also
chuck
think
it deep down 21 with 8 seconds left.
UCF is probably going to be pretty one-dimensional in this game. Not that one dimension isn't enough, because it's most certainly is enough to win this game. I just don't think KJ Jefferson is going to pass the ball very much.
Right.
So 64.5 seems awfully high to me as well, because I don't think they're going to pass all that much. I think Colorado's going to pass.
But
Colorado's going to pass like 45, 50 times.
Yeah, but UCF hits pass plays on the ground. Like they hit 45, 50. You know what I mean? Like they throw bombs with RJ Harvey.
Well, college is also where if you do a little sweep, it's a pass, and not as opposed to the NFL where it's a run.
Well, if it's in front of or behind the line, right? Like whatever.
Anyway, I don't know.
Taking Colorado and the points and the under.
And the under.
I think UCF beats them pretty good. I just don't think Colorado's defense can stop the run. And if you can't stop that UCF stable of backs, they will just run them at you all day long. I still think the under, though. That 64.5 is quite a bit. Iowa State at Houston. Iowa State 14.5, 43.5 is the total. This is going to be not Iowa State wins, but I think Willie Fritz gets them off the mat, and this game is close. I don't think Iowa State has a great offense. I think it's low scoring. I'm going to take Houston in the points. I still think Iowa State wins the game. 14. I think Houston's defense is. Iowa State needs to run the ball, and we saw Houston's defense was really good against the run. I think it's going to be closer, 10, something like that.
Open at 13, and if it had stayed at 13, I think it's easy to say Iowa State, give me the points, and instead at 14 and 43.5, I still like Iowa State. And I think that they're going to crush the over. I think that it's probably going to be closer to 50 in this one.
You have a lot more faith in Iowa State's offense than I do. I don't think it's very good. Their defense is outstanding.
I think Houston is reeling, and I think it's going to be really hard to pull them back in when you're 1-3 and just lost to Cincinnati in embarrassing fashion.
Cincinnati, Texas Tech, we will get to tomorrow night on 3 Keys. That leaves us our final game, Arizona and Utah. Arizona, this will be their first Big 12 game, even though they've played a Big 12 team. Just wasn't a conference game. Arizona at Utah. Utah 4-0, 1-0 in the Big 12. I have not seen any word on Cam Rising, whether he's going to play or not. I would just, is it safe to, we just assume not when we talk about Cam Rising? Right now,
until I think it's going to be big enough news when he finally comes back that we'll know. So I think until we hear that he is back, we're assuming that Utah is going to be playing without Cam Rising, and they're probably working on that 12th year of eligibility or wherever he's at.
I've still got Utah. They're 11.5 favorites. It's going to be interesting to see what Vegas does here, right? Because they dropped the line like 3 points overnight when they found out, when Vegas got word that Rising was out. That was not out to the public yet, but their line dropped significantly last week. Keep an eye on the line. I wouldn't jump on it yet just to see what it does, but I think Utah wins fairly comfortably here. I think Arizona's I think they're going to Utah's defense is outstanding. I think Arizona is going to struggle to move the ball consistently up and down the field. I think Utah controls the game and wins by 3 scores.
Still am hesitant to jump on, even with Utah being top 10 now, without their starting quarterback, still top 10. But that line has moved from 11.5, where it opened to 11. And I think the Arizona, they still have a home run hitter if he can get open.
Good luck against this defense.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be enough. And while I'm hesitant, I'm going to say I'd probably, if I'm betting with my own money, I'm probably not touching the spread. But I will probably say under, actually, on the points.
All right. There you go. That's going to wrap it up. We will have 3 keys tomorrow night. We'll probably get into the UNLV stuff tomorrow night. But join us then. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!